Now you can see my screen. I'm just going to get the chat up one more time and off we go. So, as you know, and I've been banging on about it, I'm going to be breaking down my three-step system to summer fat loss. So, we will be talking about summer in more detail and how to stay consistent, but it is going to be mainly around my tips and tricks on how to lose 5 to 10 kg with my ethos, which is all about balance. So for some of you, you might have only just met me, you might have only been following me for a week, or you might be a regular follower or one of my clients, and you know that I do everything without restriction, and I am here to try and get your weekends to not set you back. We want to start building that consistency, not just for 4 weeks, for 8 weeks. We want this to be a full lifestyle change. And that is my aim. Of course, you're not going to get a lifestyle change just from this webinar, but if you start to action the things that I am telling you within this, then 100% you're going to be 10 steps closer to getting to that goal and that ultimate lifestyle change that you want. No one wants to keep yo-yo dieting backwards and forwards. We just want to be consistent. So, some house rules. If you are driving, eating, putting kids to bed, or whatever, that's fine. You don't need your cameras on. But just so then I know I'm not alone, then switch your cameras on. Then always make sure you're on mute just for so I don't get distracted. Then we've already got the chat box up, which is great. So I will be saying that I want this call to be interactive. So I will be asking you guys some questions. So have the chat up there. I'll be making sure that you're still listening. You haven't gone to sleep. And also you can put in any questions that you might have. So I have got it up there, but I will maybe stop or leave them to the end. But if you do pop the question in there and I do miss it, I have my coach Poppy on the call as well. So she will just ping it to me. So then I do answer it as well. Then take notes as if the slides aren't here because I know I don't want to treat you like you're back at school, but guys, I'm so sorry. Did I just completely cut out there? That was very odd. We're still recording, we're jumping straight back in. How bizarre. So I'm back. Can you still see my screen? Let me take a second. Here we go. Say yes. Still see my screen? Still there? Still hear me, see me? Brilliant. We'll continue. Don't know what that was about. So yes, take notes as if you are, yeah, back at school basically, as if the slides aren't here, because you might remember it tonight. You'll wake up tomorrow and go, what did Sarah say? How much was that? What should I start doing? So just write it down so then you've got it for weeks to come. And of course, we are still recording, just going to double check. Pretty sure we are. Um, yeah, we are. So let's get going. So, you are here because you probably feel a certain way. And for even some of my clients that are here, you either used to feel a certain way, or if you're only very early on in the program, you might still dabble in the things that you maybe used to feel or the cycles that you were used to be stuck in. So, if you are someone who feels like you are completely on track or completely off track, that is something I call the all or nothing kind of cycle. You're going to learn a lot from this. You might be struggling with the overeating, feeling guilty because you've overeaten, so you decide to restrict to the next day or the next few days, and then you overindulge again. And I call that the binge restrict cycle. It might not be, you might not see it as, let's say, a binge episode, but you are overindulging, and it's that cycle of not being consistent. You might have tried a load of things before and not feeling like anything works, and I call these quick fixes. So you might just be looking for something that, quick, I've got this holiday, let's go, or something that you might only last 4 to 6 weeks. Or you might be feeling one of those cycles, but you really want to feel confident, strong, and in control again. And or you might just be here for that. So you might not even be on a weight loss journey. You might only want to lose maybe 2, 3 kilos. It's not always about weight loss. Everybody's journey is different inside SGC, but we're all here for the same reason. We're all here to better ourselves, to become the best version of ourselves, and to feel confident, strong, and like we're in control of life, whether that's inside, outside the gym, and definitely within our nutrition. So I do have a special offer. So whether you're a client or not, if you are on this call, you are entitled to this special offer. It's only for 7 ladies, so around to the end because I will be talking a little bit more about that. So definitely stay till the end to see that. So, a little bit about myself then, because for some of you, as I mentioned at the beginning, you might have only been following me for a week and you're like, who is this girl? I've just randomly come onto this masterclass, so just thought I'll see what it's about. Or you might be a client, you might already be following me for a while. But SGC is about to turn 3 years old. I cannot believe I've been a coach for 6 years now. But my online coaching is about to turn three, which is amazing. And we've got a coach inside the program now. So we're growing and it's really exciting. And I'm really proud of the amount of women that I have helped and ultimately change their lifestyle. And I think the reason why I can resonate to a lot of you on this call is because I've lived it. I have absolutely lived it. So amongst becoming a coach, I've got a musical theatre degree, so I actually trained within performing. I've danced my whole life, I've sung my whole life, I've acted my whole life, and during that, it just wasn't the career that I wanted to go down. But during that sort of journey, I'm going to give you a very quick rundown. I started puberty very young at 11, and I just looked different from everybody else. I looked like a woman, not really a woman, but um, be open. I was wearing a C cup in like primary school. I was taller than all the other girls, and I just didn't look like a young 11-year-old that you might think. And that haunted me for a lot of years because I was like, why do I not look like everyone else? So I wanted to shrink, get smaller. And it's funny now because I'm 5'2" and I'm small, where I was tall back in the day. So I felt like nothing was working until it really kind of was, and I was at my smallest size. And even then, I still felt like nothing was working because I was never truly happy. That's when all of the medals kind of got involved, and I became driven by performance, learning how to fuel myself properly. So you can see those events and medals there, and I've got lots more. But then I then understood, right, okay, what is then balance? So I've gone through the weight gain and I've also gone through a cut as well. So I know what it's like, and I truly will tell you that balance is the answer. Balance, consistency, finding what works for you, what you enjoy, is what is going to allow you to maintain that goal and physique that you are happy in. So I believe that I'm a coach who truly understands balance. So I want to remind you that whether you're a client or not, you're not alone. I know within SGC you've got that community there, but we're letting you guys in tonight. We're letting you guys into this call so to realize that you're not doing this alone, you're not fighting this alone. And whether you feel like your body's broken or whatever you do doesn't work, or I'm just maybe too old, or you can't do what you did maybe in your 20s, you're not alone in how you feel. We can do this together, and that's why you're here tonight, to realize that there is something that you can do. So I wanted to talk about Susie to begin with. And when Susie, I always remember that first initial call with her, and she said, I'm scared because I'll probably quit by week 6. And that is because she was used to just doing quick fixes, restricting maybe 6 weeks before a holiday, or just going, I'm going to be good for the next 6 weeks, or I've got to go on a diet, or I've got to lose some weight. And that was the mindset that she was in. And that was pretty much, yes, it was quick fixes, but it was all or nothing. She was all in for 6 weeks, all out for maybe 3, 4 months. back in it again. And she was really scared before she joined. But this achievement that you can see here is 10 months. And now she's gone past that 12-month mark inside the program. And she works 9 to 5. And I actually recently, a couple of months ago, also found out that she runs the PTA at school. So not only is she doing her work, she runs the PTA at school, she juggles her two kids, their clubs and whatnot. And I was like, how are you doing all of this? Like, I am idolizing you right now. And it just shows that it isn't just motivation. When you've got a routine and a plan that works for you, you can do it. So if you are someone that you're like, no, I just give up 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks in, if you have something and the right approach, which is what we're going to break down today, it can work for you. So, common mistakes that you might be doing right now is being too restrictive, like Susie was, because that leads to overeating, whether that's at the weekend, whether that's a couple of weeks in, whether that's a couple of months. It will lead to overeating at some point. Labeling foods. So you are putting chocolate on a pedestal, you're putting it up there, and you're seeing it as really bad. So it leads you to that all or nothing because as soon as you touch it and you're like, oh, I've broken it. Broken it, might as well eat the whole Easter egg, seeing as it's just been Easter, and I'll just be good tomorrow. That's what all or nothing is, and that's what labeling food does. And that's something that Kate was stuck in. She learned a lot from Slimming World, and she had these sort of bad habits from Slimming World that she brought into my program, which we spent a lot of time reversing. And now there is no labels on foods, all foods in moderation, and she lives a more consistent, balanced life. And here you go. She managed to lose 9 kg by doing that. No structure. So, like maybe Susie was at the beginning, just not structuring her workouts, not structuring or planning her foods. It just leads to inconsistency. Because when, as soon as something gets busy, as soon as something that gets thrown our way in life, you're going to break it. And that's something that Joanna really struggled with. Joanna was 28 when she joined the program. She was busy with her 9 to 5. She was busy with her social life. And she was like, Sarah, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to train. I don't know when people do it. I'm up early for work. I get home late. When am I supposed to do it? And it was working it in to her diary and not seeing that you don't have to do it every day. Let's start off with 2. When you get consistent with 2, we'll up it to 3. She didn't do any more than 3 sessions, but she was consistent with it. And that's what allowed her to lose 7 kg in 3 months. Then you're relying on motivation is a really big mistake. I see a lot of people message me about this in the DMs and they say, but Sarah, I'm just not motivated by anything. I don't know how people do it. And we've got that system here today to break you from relying on your motivation and no support. So it's easy to fall off. And a lot of people say, well, I've got my partner. My partner supports me. Look, I was talking to who was I talking to about it? I was talking to Justine today, and she said that her and her partner work really closely together. Um, and I said that is brilliant because other partners, as soon as maybe you go, oh, really can't be bothered to go to the gym, they'll be like, that's all right, just go tomorrow. They make you feel better about it. And you're like, no, tell me to go. Tell me to go to the gym now. So sometimes your partner or someone that you're living with isn't always the best support because they're doing their job. They're there to turn things around and make you feel better. So these are the things that you might be currently doing, which is why things aren't sticking or working. So before I continue, this system that I'm going to break down today is not quick fixes. It is if you've got a holiday in 4 weeks' time, yes, you might see a difference, but this is something that you need to take long term. 16 weeks, 6 months, 8 months to a year. And when it's installed like a habit, you're going to keep this for a lifetime. So it is for you if you're ready to put in the hard work because change doesn't just happen. It is a challenge. And you're ready for a sustainable approach. You're ready to give up dieting. You're ready to give up going on a plan. You're here to find something that works. And that's what we're going to break down today. So, my three-step summer fat loss system. So, I've broken it down into three things that we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss building a structure because I think that is super important. We're going to be talking about your balance within your nutrition. And I think a lot of people are here today. A lot of people, that's why a lot of people follow me on Instagram. It's more about the nutritional side of things. And we're going to master your mindset at the end as well, just to make sure that when you go into it, anyone can give you a workout plan and nutritional support. But if your mindset's not there, then that's where things get a little bit tricky. So, step one, and I want to use the chat box whilst we start this and make sure you've got your notebooks and pens. Write down the things that throw you off in the summer months. I've started it off for you. A holiday might throw you off, work drinks might throw you off, the kids being off for 6 weeks might throw you off. What else throws you off? Put it in the Zoom chat now. Can be anything. It might be unique to you, or it might be something that actually a lot of people, oh yeah, that throws me off when that happens. Pop that in the Zoom chat. Katie says pub gardens. Justine says sunny days and wants to have, see, a couple of two of the same things that have just been thrown in, a couple of beers in the garden. Poppy said different food at meals like barbecue food, which is more picky food. Yes, like buffets or going to someone's house that is hosted, so you're not aware of what the food is. Or maybe you go round to someone's house for dinner, but before dinner they put out the crisps and dips and you have a few drinks. Totally normal. Um, Sally puts being at home all day as I'm at home and you're prone to snacking. Angie says weekends or nights out. Katie said to the World Cup. Yes, different events going on during the summer. Mina said just a change in routine, whether that's with work, whether that's the kids being off for me, that's my partner being off for 6 weeks. So it is. There's always going to be something. Now let's think, well, what else throws us off in the winter months when it comes to Christmas? So probably Christmas markets, um, more socializing with family and friends, Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, the New Year, New Year's Eve. What else goes on? Maybe birthdays, other celebrations, chocolates, Christmas picky foods. So if we can't commit to our structure in the summer because it's summer, we're going to go out drinking, we go to the beer gardens, we've got a week off for a holiday. But then when it comes to the winter months, gosh, then we've got all the picky foods and the chocolates and Christmas and family dues. Well, when is this structure going to come about? There is always going to be something. And a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to wait for the right time. When is the right time? There is no right time. So if you follow this and this is what's going to help you lose that 5 to 10 kg and keep it off, is if you follow this and you're going to think this is crazy because I'm going to tell you to do less. I'm going to tell you to do less. So if you do 3 workouts a week, I only want you to set 2. If you do 4 workouts a week, I only want you to set 3. Can't even do maths. If you do 2 workouts a week, I only want you to set 1. Because what we're doing here is so that if you have got the busiest week of your life, you're going to do what you set out to do. Anything else you do is a bonus. And what's that going to do? At the end of the week, you're going to feel so much better about yourself because you've smashed it. You've gone, oh my God, I've even done more than what I've set. So set less and then potentially do more. However, if you are currently doing 0 workouts, 0 strength training, you need to start doing it. You need to +1. And I wish I had more time today, and I'm not going to go into it, but as to why strength training is so important, no matter what your age, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it gets even more important. So if you're scared of weight training because it makes you bulky and you don't want to look that way, it's not going to do that. So I wish I could go into it, but you need to start doing +1. And I've got loads of workouts on my YouTube that would be a great starting place. Number 2, You're going to walk as much as possible. Inside SGC, we've currently got a 275k step challenge. I say that with a question mark because I think it is 275k, which sounds wild. It sounds like loads. But we're here, we're keeping each other accountable. But for you guys, I want you to plus 2,000. So if you currently do 6,000, I want you to start doing 8,000. If you're only doing 8,000, I want you to start doing 10,000. But be realistic. Of course, if you're working 9 to 5 at an office based job, you need to be realistic around it. But maybe you look at the weekends. The weekends, gosh, I'm only getting really 5 or 6k in. Get more. Wherever you can, walk as much as possible. And again, I wish I could go into the why, but you just need to trust me on it because you don't need to recover from it. You can do it as much as you can. And it's a really great fat loss tool. Then number three, and this is something that me and my clients have spoken about recently, is finding a morning and evening routine. So, what is going wrong within your mornings? And let's actually chat about it. In your mornings, what is causing you stress and chaos? Is it you just need to put one thing? Is it sleeping through your alarm? Is it choosing what you're going to wear for work? Is it doing the kids' lunch boxes? Is it trying to squeeze in getting the dog stuff ready, taking the dog out for a walk, getting back for work? What is it that is causing you stress and chaos in the mornings that makes you feel like maybe you can't get a workout in or a morning walk in or waking up stress free? Is there something that maybe causes you any sort of stress in the mornings? Justine says work in general, needing more sleep, getting the kids ready for school. That is always harsh. I don't really have any tips for that, but maybe in the future I will. Um, but here is where I am going to educate you in a sense of, well, what you do in the evenings needs to prepare you for the mornings. So, yes, you're probably tired. You probably just want to go to bed. But how many of you are watching a Netflix series in the evening, reading a book in the evenings? Who here is actually, you don't need to answer this though, but are you really going around your day, continuously doing things and then getting into bed? Surely there is 10, 15 minutes. And within 10 15 minutes, I can even time myself tonight. Within that 15 minutes, I'm going to prepare my partner and I's baked oats, overnight oats for the morning. I will have laid my clothes out for the next day. So as soon as I'm up, I can get into them. And I will write my to-do list and my schedule for the next day so that when I wake up, I'm not overwhelmed by my thoughts and my brain. I know exactly what I need to do for my Friday. I'm going to tick off that to-do list and off I go. That's my sort of easier version of my evening routine. But this is building structure into your day. So when people say, I don't have time for breakfast, prep it the night before. I don't have time in the morning for a 10-minute walk. Well, how long are you spending there to decide what you're going to wear? If you know what you're wearing, could you actually fit in a 5-minute extra walk? Just something to think about, but your evening routine is going to help with your structure in the morning. So I hope that kind of helps in terms of I'm not going to tell you how many you need to do per week because that is individual. I don't know all of you. And of course, my clients, I set that and I negotiate with them. But this is definitely something that you can start playing around with because when you are on a journey to achieving your goals, you need to be winning every single week. So when you finish that week, you need to know I smashed those two sessions this week and I'm so pleased with myself. Or you might go, I've even done an extra walk this week because I've managed it. That's what I want you to be saying to yourself every single week as you're on this journey. And I will talk about Michelle here because Michelle went through a whole sort of life restructure. She was lost. She had just had her second baby. She was a hairdresser and she had been going to the gym and she's been going to the gym for years. She's trained for years. And She said, I just want to look like I go to the gym. I just want to find my spark, my confidence, and I want to feel toned. I want to feel good. And that's what we did. And she had tried other coaches in the past. She hadn't really got involved too much with her nutrition, but she had had PTs in the past. So I quickly found out and realized that what Michelle was doing was being really good Monday to Friday and then letting loose at the weekends. She loved to party and she still does. She still enjoys all of those things. And what we really needed to do was try and find that consistency 7 days a week rather than five. And within her journey, she was inside SGC for 15 months and she managed to lose 13 kg in the first 3 months, a total of 17 kg in 6 months. And between these two shoots, these are two different photo shoots that we did a whole rebuild and then a cut again within those last 15 months, which she absolutely enjoyed. And that's because she was in control of her journey. And structuring your life, scheduling your life isn't restriction. It provides you more freedom. Being in control of your time schedule will allow you more time to relax, switch off, and do the things that you want to do. And that's prioritize yourself amongst life. So it isn't about who's most motivated. Michelle wasn't more motivated than Susie. Susie wasn't more motivated than Michelle. They were just both really good at scheduling their time and their structure, which they hadn't done before. So things like this was getting thrown into the group chat. I haven't got time this morning, so I'm going to start breaking up my workouts like you suggested on that call, Sarah. And we have calls like this every single week. And that is because, well, if you don't have time for 30 minutes, an hour, why don't you try doing 20 minutes today, 20 minutes tomorrow? That's still that one session done. You've still got it done that week. What about splitting it into 10-minute slots throughout the day? You might not have half an hour in a bulk block, but you might have 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes in the evening. You're still getting your session done. So when you feel like you don't have time at all, there is still something that you can do. Proof that you can up your steps to 16,000 and proof that you could still do this on holiday if you want to. Both kids napping at the same time, first holiday workout done. You might go from someone not ever working out on holiday to someone that does. You might just never be that person. I am that person and I generally enjoy it. But you might not ever be, but you might be someone that actually starts to because you like the way it makes you feel. So it isn't about restriction. This is providing you more freedom, 100%. So step two, nutrition. And I think this is probably the part that most people are interested in. And you probably think I'm going to give you your calories, your fats, your protein, your carbs, and suggest how much fiber you should be having. I'm not going to do that because I can't. I don't know all of you. But if you was inside the program, of course, that's what I would give you. But I am going to give you 5 different rules that I give to my clients that you can take. And I'm definitely going to be reminding some of my clients of those rules today. But eating less isn't always the answer to fat loss. It's not. I've known Hayley for a while. When Hayley first joined the program, she was telling me beforehand, Sarah, I'm just doing everything right. Like, I can't eat any less. I only eat 1,500 calories, but nothing's changing. In my mind, and I've spoken to Hayley about this, in my mind, I was going, that 1,500 calories sounds a little bit unrealistic. If you're doing that every day, there will be change. So, what's going on at the weekends? Well, she was restricting, overindulging. She loves to party, socialize, have fun. That's who Hayley is. And she still does that. But she's learned about it in more moderation now. And she's learned that actually, if I am consistent across my 7 days, I actually don't overindulge as much. So when it does come to eating out or partying or drinking alcohol, she doesn't want as much because she's fueling herself. Her body's telling her that actually you're full. You don't need any more. And the biggest thing that she wanted to do was feel more body confident. And 100% she has achieved that. And she's still within SGC today, way past the 12-month mark. I think we are more like a year and a half in now, which is really, really exciting. Still working, still progressing, and still setting new goals. So, what are my five rules? Number one, 30 grams of protein for breakfast. So if you don't currently track your calories, you're probably looking at a palm size portion of protein. If you are tracking your calories, you can start making this change. But Sarah, I don't eat breakfast. Okay, 30 grams is going to be quite tough for you, but start having something small. 200 calories, 250 calories. Start there and build it up because people that skip breakfast are less likely to lose weight, will lose weight slower because they are more likely to overeat later in the evenings because your body's playing catch up. So I would really start implementing that into your routine. And I'm pretty sure I can actually say 100% of people that come into SGC and they say they're not breakfast eaters and they haven't eaten breakfast for years, they leave the program being a breakfast eater, hands down. So if you want to eat breakfast, just come into the program. Number two, add a healthy fat to a carbohydrate. I have a rule that no carbs should be eating alone, unless, of course, it's your birthday and you want a slice of cake. It's Christmas and you're eating whatever. And you're at a social occasion, you're at a party and you just want a cupcake. Like, I'm not that strict. But during the day, consistently across your week, yeah, if you can start combining them two together, what this does, and just like step one, it's going to level out your blood sugar levels. It's not going to let you spike and crash so much. And having stable blood sugar levels makes weight loss 10 times easier. So that's why adding a healthy fat like nuts, avocado, peanut butter, olive oil, anything like that, adding that to a carbohydrate, chef's kiss. Number three, in the Zoom chat, so I know you guys are still listening, why am I telling you to eat half of your plate to be filled by vegetables? Why am I saying that? Put it into the Zoom chat. Why am I saying that? Gosh, I'm getting really dark. It's getting darker outside. Justine makes it more filling. Absolutely. So, yes, okay. Um, it's going to provide extra vitamins, extra minerals because of lots of color from vegetables and fruit, but it provides bulk and volume to your meal. So when a lot of people say that they get those 2, 3 o'clock cravings, have a look at what your lunch size looks like. After dinner, if you feel like you're craving more, have a look at what your dinner portion looks like. And if you don't like vegetables, if you don't like fruit, there is ways around it. There is ways to put it in. So whether that's in pasta sauces, try different methods of cooking it, try, yeah, blending it up and cooking it down. But I would like to think we all kind of like different fruit and vegetables, even if it's limited. But another thing it does, especially if you're eating something raw, and I've even been playing around with it myself, is you've probably seen on my Instagram, like, why is she adding carrots like to all of her meals? Like, why does she just keep eating carrots? And yes, I'm eating my skincare, but I'm eating the carrots because it's providing different textures onto my plate. It's providing that big crunch that so that my mouth the mechanics of my mouth is having to work like a chewy steak. When you're having steak and you're having to chew and chew and chew, and you're like, gosh, I'm full. And you've only had really maybe had a little bit of a steak, but why is it making you full? Because you're having to work harder. So half your plate is filled with vegetables will be a huge game changer for you. Another thing is meal prep one sweet treat each week. And I think that's the biggest change a lot of my clients go through is just having something prepared and ready so that when you do get those cravings, you're not looking down the cupboards, you're not looking in the fridge. You've got something prepped and ready to go. So I would really start suggesting that. And if you don't know where to even start, take a look at my page. Baked oats, date bites, egg cups. It could be banana bread like cookies or banana bread itself. It could be anything, but make sure that it's something that you enjoy to eat and it's going to help with those cravings. Number five, consistency on the weekends. And I am going to explain this in a little bit more detail, which I have kind of spoken about it before. But when we say that our weekend hasn't really gone to plan, and we've all been there, we've all said, gosh, Monday I'm gonna be good from tomorrow, or I'm just gonna overindulge and just start again the next day, or you start to feel guilty about the weekend. When you start having those feelings, it's because your intention was so far off. You've told yourself that you're not going to enjoy your Easter egg this year, or you're going to not drink any sort of alcohol. I'm going to go to that party and I'm going to eat beforehand and I'm not going to touch the buffet at all. But then as soon as you do those things, that's when the guilt comes in. That's when you start to feel bad or label the weekend as that was a bad weekend, and you're going to be disappointed in yourself. So it's starting to look at your weekends and going, how can I make it look like the week? Can I fit in a longer walk? Can I do definitely step one and step three, even on the weekends? Why does it have to look any different? Especially if you have got a social occasion in the evening. I don't mind if you're not tracking your calories. If you are, you might find it slightly easier to build that consistency because you're able to stay within your calories, whether you're going out or not. But the worst thing that you can do, and that's going to set you off for a bad weekend, is skipping meals or snacking your way through the day. Because all that does is you skip a meal, so you, oh, I'll just have that. And then you're hungry again. Oh, well, I had that earlier, so I'll just have this now. Oh, but then I've had this and that, so I shouldn't really have dinner, so I won't have dinner. And then you just end up in a downward spiral and you go all in to a full packet of crisps, a chocolate bar, and a cookie as well. We've all been there. So that is the worst thing you can do. So if you can start making the weekends look like the weeks, you're going to be seeing a bigger difference, especially when you're at social occasions, events, and that is where the balance comes in. Then the last step to this system, and I just want to double check that your mindset is in the right possible place so that you can manage this 5 to 10 kg weight loss, is number one, stop labeling foods as good and bad. And we've already said that if you are doing that, you're literally putting, let's say, chocolate on a pedestal. You're making it seem so like that you just can't ever have it. Like that is awful. And if you do have it, oh my God, you are a bad person. You're doing it to yourself. Whereas if you start combining these foods into your day, maybe putting a bit of chocolate into your baked oats, or actually starting your day with chocolate, if you're not going to scroll back 1,000 posts, but maybe I'll dig it out one day, you will see that I was starting to reverse my mindset. And I feared chocolate, anything high calorie, nut butters, avocados, pasta. I feared a lot of foods. And the first thing I started to do, and I remember it so clearly, is that there is a baked oat recipe with a full Malteser bunny on top, melted in. And that was the way I started to start including foods again that I feared, that I labeled as bad. I started putting them into my day in moderation, knowing that, oh my God, my body isn't changing. My body isn't just going to gain fat. But it allowed me then to know that I've had it, I've enjoyed it, to then not overindulge in it in the weekends, because that's what I used to do. I used to restrict so much that as soon as I had one bite of it, gosh, I had to finish the packet and start again tomorrow. Start back on that discipline. Number two is building self-trust and sticking to our promises. And that is what I was explaining in that previous slide, is that don't set out to do something unrealistic for yourself. If you enjoy alcohol, there is no point you saying, I'm not going to go out on this social occasion and not drink, because you're just setting yourself up to fail. And the whole point of this process is to keep succeeding, it's to keep winning, building that self-trust so every day you wake up like a better person, like you can do this. Because otherwise, if you keep breaking those promises, you're just going to keep feeling like a failure, like you're always repeating the cycle. And that's not what we want to do here. And the third thing, and I probably have to remind my clients of doing this, is always visualize or always have a visual reminder of your goals. I have different goals around the house. I have business related goals, self related goals. I start my day every day saying what habit I'm going to stick to. So I'm reminding myself constantly, is it my steps that I'm achieving? Do I want to achieve my water today? Is it the workout that I want to get done today because I missed it yesterday? So I must prioritize it today. I have if I have a step goal, a weight loss goal, a maybe a goal of maybe a photo shoot or something bigger, I will have that up, reminding me every single day of why I'm doing this. And that's what you guys need to do. So if you haven't got something visual up anywhere in your house, put it on the fridge, put it on in your office, put it in wherever you sit down on the back of your laptop, whatever you use, have your goals there because it's going to remind you to work that little bit harder every single day. So that is my three-step system. So that will take me into why or what I want to do now is for the first 7 women or the next 7 women who want to apply, I'm going to invite you into a 4-month case study. So it's going to be very close knit. It is going to be just 16 weeks, which is a limited program that I am running. So if you want to apply, you just need to DM me the number 7 on Instagram and I will go through what it entails in just a second. So if you feel like you are ready to start implementing what we've spoken today, joining this case study is something that you want to consider. If you want accountability to build these habits long term, not just before summer, not just for winter, but for long term sustainable results. If you want to see bigger results, like the ladies we've discussed today, if you want to go beyond the 5 to 10 kg, or if you want to start running half marathons, if you want to start just living your life in a completely different way, or if you're ready to break the current cycle that you're in, just message me that number 7. And I mean, message me now, message me that number 7 if you want to apply for it, because it's going to be at a discounted rate. Because I'll be asking for a video testimonial and bits and pieces along your journey too. So you can do nothing. You can try this on your own. You can try what we have done or discussed today on your own. Or, of course, you can book a call with me by messaging me that number 7, and we will discuss where you're currently at, what you've tried before, what your goals are, and we can start pushing you into that right direction. So you don't need more discipline or motivation. Just like I mentioned, these ladies are good at scheduling their time because they've got a plan that fits their lifestyle. They've got the support, the accountability, and a system that actually works long term, that uses the exact system that we have discussed today. So these ladies didn't think 8-week diet, they thought long term change. Okay, so make sure that that is where your mentality is at, even if you want to achieve, let's say, 5 to 10 kg in the next 8 weeks. That's not impossible to do. So I will just head to the Zoom chat now. And have you got any specific questions, whether that's related to your current lifestyle, your current journey, or anything that you've wanted to ask me today? Is there anything? Pop it into the Zoom chat now. Or if not, put all good. Justin said, could you list healthy fats again, please? Of course. Healthy fats will include things like any sort of nut butter. So when I say nut butter, that means peanut butter, cashew butter, almond butter. And when you're looking at the nut butters that you're buying, make sure that it's 100%, let's say peanuts or 100% almonds. I don't mind buying the peanut butter with maybe a little bit of salt. That's okay. But sometimes peanut butters like Sunpat, they will pump a load of sugar in, or sometimes they include like palm oil. So just make sure it's that sort of product. So always look at the ingredients. Avocados, you've got dark chocolate. I know, well, obviously we discussed that yesterday that you've gotten into the dark chocolate, which is great. Um, we avocados, nuts. So yeah, nuts in normal form doesn't just have to be nut butter. Then you've also got things like chia seeds and olive oils. So extra virgin olive oil in particular. So if you're starting to cook with if you cook with different oils, maybe swap to extra virgin olive oil. Ladies, help me out. Is there any more? I think that's kind of off the top of my head where I'm at. That's definitely a good starting place for you. If I think of any more, then I will suggest some more. Is there any other questions or put all good? Mina is all good, all good, all good. Amazing. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Again, message me that number 7 if you want to apply for the shorter case study. But likewise, I hope you've taken something away from you with this with you today, and I will hopefully see you all on the next one. Look at how dark my room is. Right, I will see you all soon, and thank you for joining me this evening. Talk to you later. Bye bye.